to Naked Faith, everybody. It's lovely to have you all here. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing tonight? Woo! April 11th. You know what that means? It's the day before my birthday. It's not about me. It is my birthday tomorrow, though. But it's not about me. But it is tomorrow, anyways. It's nice to have you all here. This is Naked Faith. If you've never been here before, Naked Faith is an alternative worship service aimed at youth and young adults, but open to everybody. What we do is we play some loud music. We have a theme that hopefully is relevant to you somehow. And then afterwards, the youth play games, the young adults go and hang out, and it's just a merry old time. So we're happy to have you here. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here many times, welcome back. What do I want to say? Not much, really. My name's Andrew. I'm going to be one of your worship leaders for this evening. Back there, you know him. You're very fond of him. It's Josh, everybody. Say hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Hello. I'm very fond of you guys, too.
That's nice.
I got a single laugh from that. Yeah.
Well, Josh, what's happening?
Oh, we're doing a Naked Faith.
Nice. Thank you for the update. Over there, she's in the front row. She's going to be talking later. The best of all three of us, our other worship leader tonight, that's Caitlin, everybody. Caitlin! So if you need anything, don't ask us, because we'll be up here. But listen to us, because we're going to talk to you. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say for now. Before we move into our worship proper, Josh is going to lead us in our land acknowledgement. You just going to use your mic there?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that we live, work, and love on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising of the Siksika, Kainai, and Piikani, the Tsuut'ina and the Yethka Nakota nations, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney, the Otipemisiwak Métis Government, District 5 and 6, and all people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta.
And as we move into a time of worship, we're going to invite Lauren and Mackenzie up to light our Christ candle. And take a moment as they do that to do whatever you need to do to move into a worshipful space. Here, you gotta hold it. Yeah, there you go.
Hello. Hi. As we light this Christ candle, we are reminded of Jesus' journey to his crucifixion and eventual resurrection. We are grateful and hopeful as we follow him along the path.
Sing along if you know it. Walk calmly with your God. Tell him of the things you're less proud of, and let all your burdens wash away. Speak honestly with your love. Caution to the wind, you're better off, and take all the promises to the grave. Oh, 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 oh. Here we go. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Nice and loud. All we are and all we have, our endless love goes on and on. And all we are and all we have, our endless life goes on and on and on and on and on. Oh, 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 help us out. Oh, oh, oh.
When the darkness comes and the world's undone, will you take me home? If I bear my soul, will you share my hope? Will you make me whole? When the darkness comes and the world's undone, will you take me home? If I bear my soul, will you share my hope? Will you make me whole?
All we are, all we have, our endless love goes on and on. And all we are, and all we have, our endless love goes on and on and on and on and on. It looks very alarming when it's on the screen like that in big letters. We just want to give you a bit of a content warning tonight, just because tonight we're talking about mental health, which on its own we know is a sensitive topic, which may resonate with people in challenging ways. Since what we're doing tonight is we're linking it to the story of the crucifixion and resurrection, so we're also going to be talking about themes of death, the idea of metaphorical deaths of parts of ourselves when we struggle with our mental health. There will be a couple mentions of self-harm and suicide in one of the videos we're going to show, but it's not the primary focus of the service tonight, but we acknowledge that those are aspects that can be very real when struggling with mental health. 1 hour-long service is not enough to address all aspects, all the nuance of these issues, which is why we chose not to dive into that particular part of the topic. We will put up a slide of mental health resources at the end that you can access those if needed. And of course, there's many leaders here tonight who are happy to chat with you if something comes up with you throughout the service. You're always allowed to leave and take a break if anything feels particularly intense or heavy. And youth leaders, just keep an eye on your youth. If they need to take a break, maybe follow them out. Hint, hint. All right. With that being said, my favorite band, Jesus and the Anxieties. So next Friday is Good Friday, which is why Naked Faith was early this month. Good Friday is, of course, the day that Jesus was crucified on the cross. It was the day of his death. Easter Sunday is the day of his resurrection, when he arose. So we wanted to base our theme around this because of the timeliness, but as a metaphor to mental health. We think there's something interesting and valuable to look at mental health through the lens of this Easter story and to see the parallels with different pieces of the story. Battling our mental health can feel like going through 100 little deaths every day. It can feel like regular stressors become behemoths, and our ability to cope can feel extremely limited or maybe non-existent. It can feel like our thoughts, our emotions, and other people, the world, are just constantly wearing us down, dragging us down. People who struggle with anxiety will talk about the worry that takes over the brain, constantly imagining the worst-case scenario, thinking and overthinking these scenarios, health concerns, an upcoming test, whatever the focus of that anxiety is. They feel it in their body, a constant sense of fight or flight, pounding heart, tense all the time, unable to relax. We might think of that sense of impending doom that anxiety can feel like as Jesus walking, carrying the cross, heading towards the crucifixion. People who struggle with depression might describe it like their world has gone to gray. There's no color left. Things that they used to enjoy, they feel numb to now. They feel little to no motivation to do anything, let alone things that are healthy. We might see a parallel in the despair we feel when struggling with depression, with the despair that Jesus felt on the cross when he cried out, "Why have you forsaken me?" Depression and anxiety are only two of many, many mental health challenges. Mental health struggles are a very, very real thing that many people struggle with at some point in their life, to varying degrees of severity. Part of our purpose in talking about it tonight, as is our purpose every time we talk about it, and we tend to talk about it once a year, once every couple of years, is to continue normalizing and decreasing the stigma around this. It is okay to talk about mental health, and it is okay to be on the struggle bus. When we often say this every month, when we say you are loved no matter what, that includes when we are battling our inner demons. So if Jesus is the template of divinity within human form, then it can be helpful to look at his experiences in the Easter story to maybe validate our own human experiences of anxiety, despair, being let down by those around us. If the divine can feel these things, then maybe it can give us permission to not be okay as well.
In my eye. Oh, can I? Oh, 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 oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Should we start again?
You know what? Could we start that again? Good thing that wasn't embarrassing. In my eyes, indisposed, in disguises no one knows. Lies the face, lies the snake, in the sun, in my disgrace. Boiling heat, summer stench, neath the black the sky looks dead. Call my name through the creek, and I'll hear you scream again.
Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you come? Start a rain, cold and damp. Steal the warm, tired friend. Times are gone for honest men. Sometimes far too long for slaves. In my shoes, walking sleep, and my youth I prayed to sleep. Heaven sent hell away. No one sings like you anymore. Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come?
Black hole sun, black hole sun,
Won't you come?
black hole sun, black hole sun,
Won't you come?
black hole sun, black hole sun,
Won't you come?
black hole sun, black hole sun.
Hang my head, drown my fear, till you all just disappear. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain. Black hole sun, won't you come? Won't you come?
Black hole sun,
Won't you come?
black hole sun, black hole sun,
Won't you come?
black hole sun, black hole sun,
Won't you come?
black hole sun, black hole sun.
Thank you. Oh, it didn't change here. Mid thing, I tried to increase the size so that I could see, but it didn't come up here. Whatever. If I stumble, sorry. In the days leading up to Easter, we see a betrayal by one of Jesus' disciples, Judas. Judas plants a kiss on Jesus' cheek, which sets in motion the series of events that occur later. The arrest of Jesus, the trial, the crucifixion, and eventually the resurrection. Jesus knew the betrayal was coming, as it was a fulfillment of the scripture, but I'm sure it still stung when it happened. I think, in a way, Jesus knew what was to come, but didn't want it to be true. Jesus still called Judas his friend, despite knowing his fate. And Judas still called Jesus teacher, even though Judas was about to commit this betrayal. At the end of the day, Judas was a traitor. Last month, we talked about archetypes, and in many archetypes of traitors and betrayers, Judas comes to mind. Now, the reason why I bring Judas up is because I think sometimes we have people in our life who fail us. Most times, I think they are unaware that what they are doing is hurting us. People tend to live their lives in their own worlds. We have so much going on in our lives, it can be challenging to check in on each other all the time. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't. We are a community, and in community, we take care of each other as often as we can. Now, there are other times when I think people do know that what they are doing is affecting us in negative ways. Maybe it's selfishness. Perhaps it's an unmet need. Regardless, it can be really challenging to figure out what people's motivations are. All I tend to think about, and maybe you do too, and rightfully so, is why are they doing this to me? As many of you may know, I was diagnosed with cancer a couple of years ago, and my life was forever changed by that news. So many people rallied around me. It was amazing. But as I got further along in my treatments, people started to drop off. People who were driving me to doctor's appointments, people who sat with me when I waited for my radiation, they stopped responding to me. And I felt so hurt by the fact that they felt the need to ghost me, to leave me without the decency of explaining or of giving me an explanation as to why. I couldn't control what was going on in others' lives, but I felt as though they had abandoned me. And it took me a long while to forgive them. For some people in my life, I don't know if I ever will. But I'm going to try very hard to forgive. It is easier to hate than it is to love, because loving takes work. It takes sacrifice. But I think back to Jesus' love for his disciples, including Judas. Jesus loved everyone, even those who were actively seeking to do him harm. When I see his example, loving people instead of hating, being called to life, I think about what that looks like for me. To me, that means forgiveness, to love instead of hate. We're constantly being surrounded by negative things, depressing things, things that make us feel bad. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to feel bad anymore. I want to feel good. But I think sometimes it's easier to feel bad. It takes effort to feel good. I think that sometimes it's okay to have off days, to feel bad, lonely, to have struggles. That makes us human. We are not meant to be 100% positive all the time. This is all to say that it is so much easier to hate than it is to love. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to figure out how to love one another anyways.
I've taken a few too many left turns.
I've been full of doubt, self-hatred, that old familiar creatures.
I'm looking for a sign, a guide to give me hope,
Something to tell me
which way to go. And yet we do not lose sight. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day. And yet we do not lose sight. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day.
The world's a pretty place, full of trauma, darkness, and a flawed faith.
I've been full of rage. Might my expectations be too high again? I'm looking for a sign, a guide to give me hope, someone to tell me keep on going. And yet we do not lose sight. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day. And yet we do not lose sight. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day. Renewed day by day.
God is our strength and ever-present help in
God
trouble.
is our strength, an ever-present help in
God
trouble.
is our strength and ever-present help in
God is our strength and ever-present help. And yet we do not lose heart. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day. And yet we do not lose heart. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day. And yet we do not lose heart. Outwardly we waste away. Inwardly we're renewed day by day.
I couldn't come up with a good theme title section, so I went for a pun. So this is my Reser section. Andrew's my biggest fan. The Easter story is one that most of us know pretty well. It's an incredible tale. The idea that someone would come back from beyond is an astounding feat. With that said, I think we should talk about it more often. Easter isn't the only time for resurrection. In fact, I think we are all exposed to and experience resurrection far more than we might think about. Despite different interpretations of the Easter story, it is an incredible one, but I think incredible things also happen every day. You don't necessarily have to die and rise 3 days later to experience a resurrection of sorts. Maybe the you that woke up today and came here is different from the person you were yesterday. Is that not some sort of renewal, some sign of growth, some type of resurrection? For Jesus, resurrection wasn't possible without condemnation. And for us, I think we can't see new things grow if old things don't wither. Life and death are two sides of the same coin. Our opening song tonight was about the ways in which, as we live, we then experience also 100 little deaths. Now, This is metaphorical. It might be the death of an old habit. It might be a relationship that doesn't serve you any longer. It might be the loss of an opportunity. I think there's something profound here. Whether dictated by our own choices or a product of things beyond our control, new things are born of some sort of dying or loss. Life and death are both inseparable and indomitable. Life begets death, and death begets life. They're precursors to one another. Forest fires are an increasing concern every summer, and rightfully so, but fire, often associated with devastation and destruction, is a precursor to life. Forest fires open up the canopy. They release nutrients into the soil. They allow some tree species to reproduce by melting and opening up their seed pods. I think there's something very powerful in finding hope and growth from a circumstance that at first glance seems very disheartening. And I think it speaks to the human condition, that we persevere, that we continue on, that despite the loss, the little deaths, that we find ways in which to resurrect, to revive, to revitalize. Life is a precious thing, and knowing that it's finite grants it meaning. And this is what makes the idea of a resurrection in any capacity a wondrous thing. My hope is that you go forward tonight, tomorrow, whenever, and think not about the 100 little deaths, but the 100 little resurrections that you've seen and experienced, the ways in which you have grown and changed, not because of loss, but despite it. Now, this is an opportunity to let you into Andrew and I's process a little bit. The next song is called Burn the Witch by Shawn James. This is one I've pitched to Andrew for a very long time. He kept saying no. This month, as we talk about mental health, resurrection, Easter, we found a cool parallel in this idea of being burned at the stake. Jesus could not have risen. We cannot rise unless there was a death, a dying, a loss. And so as we play this song for you, our hopes is that you see the parallels in coming to understand what is both inevitable and necessary for us to, like a phoenix, be reborn.
The flames lick at my feet, their hearts full of hate. What they don't understand, they condemn. What they can't comprehend must meet its end. But I won't scream, won't give them that satisfaction. I won't confess my false interaction. As I breathe deep and prepare for my passing, I hear them chant, burn the witch.
I stand accused league with Satan. No proof for their false accusation. Tied to the stake, no hope of escape. I stand alone and embrace my fiery fate.
But I won't scream, won't give them that satisfaction. I won't confess my false interaction. 'Cause I breathe deep and prepare for my passing. I hear them chant, burn the wind.
No, I won't scream, won't give them that satisfaction. I won't confess my false interaction. Now as I breathe deep and prepare for my passing, I hear them chant,
Burn the witch, burn the witch, burn the witch, burn the witch, burn the witch. All right. As we move into our time of prayer, I'd invite Reverends Tracy and Marion to come up and lead us in prayer.
I invite us into a time of prayer. Let us pray. Unconditionally loving God, you don't make mistakes. And today, as we reflect on the hope of your resurrection message, open our hearts to your words of encouragement to each one of us, reminding us of who we are. Over and over again, you say these words. May they seep into our hearts and souls so we never forget. You're a gift. Maybe you're different, maybe you're gifted, maybe you feel downtrodden and need to be uplifted. Maybe your life has shifted, you're tired of a life that's scripted and realize there's a reason why you exist. There's nothing you're experiencing others in history haven't persisted.
You're a gift. Maybe people called you your blessing a curse. Maybe you can imagine the best instead of the worst. Maybe your dream is too big for their small mind. Maybe you don't need a cosign for what God already designed. Maybe you're just unorthodox and you just think outside the box. Maybe you like to rock mismatched socks and their awkward gawks won't stop, but don't stop. The way you look, the way you like to dress, walk, and talk. Maybe you're trying to adjust to a sick society. You don't subscribe to traditional, conventional propriety. They're too bland, and you embrace variety. They can't see the world through the same eyes you see. They're just calling you sick as if they're well. They judge you when you fail, when you fall, as if they never fell.
You are a gift. Maybe your body is wanting safety and you just started learning what safe means. Maybe there's too much on your mind. You feel foggy and hazy. You can't think. Your thoughts are blocked and locked in a brain freeze. Maybe life's storms are raging and you're bracing, although your heart is racing. You're moving bravely, trying to keep it together when everything else is breaking. Maybe you're overworked and you're hurting and aching. You've been told you're broken, but you just need a break or vacation. You're craving a life you're not always escaping or coping or caping. Help me, save me. You need liberating. Maybe you're burned out, tired, exhausted, fatigued. Maybe you need a nap, but you just can't fall asleep. Maybe there's a lesson in the test. Maybe you can let go, take a breath, and just rest.
You are a gift. Maybe you can have Jesus and a therapist, because even therapists have therapists. Maybe thoughts and prayers can be shared with love, not just shared online, but shared with a hug. Maybe we all need someone who cares for us and cares enough to carry us when we can't carry us. Then the caring and carrying become a bridge over the barriers burying us.
You are a gift. You are not defective. You are not abandoned or rejected. You are protected and held with affection. Maybe you only have yet to accept it. You're awesome, awe-inspiring, and amazing. Maybe some people expect you to always be the same, but lately you're growing and changing, evolving and awaking, learning from your mistakes, bumps and scrapes more graciously, with less hastened speed, more space, and a pace as slow as you may need. The only thing wrong with you is thinking there's something wrong with you. Fight the lies, find the truth, and ask what's right with you.
You are a gift. At this time, I invite you into a few moments of stillness and silence to pray for yourself, for the community, and the world. We also ask that we take a few moments, especially for Brenda McKellar, who lost her sister this morning. May we keep her in our hearts and prayers. God, thank you for this message again. You are a gift. Amen.
I'd like to invite you up and light a candle in prayer tonight. So how then do we find that resurrection? When the world has faded to gray, when we feel that despair, how do we still hear the call of life? How do we keep going? As Josh talked about through the lens of this Easter story, it's about finding resurrection within us, at least partly. And I love that idea of instead of 100 little deaths, finding our 100 little resurrections. They can be small, but the small things add up. By no means do we have all the answers. And there's certainly no perfect answer as to how to cure mental health. We would be miracle workers rather than therapists if we knew that. But instead, I think it's worth spending a bit of time talking about the different ways that people do find hope, resilience, and are able to move through the muck. We thought as we were writing this last section, we'd just share some of our own, each of us, our own personal things that help us when we struggle. And when I was thinking about it, two things stand out to me. I think there's a lot of things, but two things stand out to me when I think about how do I get through the dark times: connection and passion. First of all, leaning into the relationships that I have in my life, feeling the support and love is huge. My default tendency, as my wonderful wife knows, she's not even listening right now. She's just texting. I'm sorry. My default tendency when I'm sorry. Oh, she hates being put in the spotlight. I'm sorry. My default tendency when struggling, as she knows, is to clam up, not talk about it, not be vulnerable. And I'm a therapist, and I don't talk about my own problems. See, we all struggle with it. I've tried to work hard to challenge that. It's still a work in progress, and it does help. I also try to lean into my passions. I'm very blessed that I have a lot of things I get passionate about. So I try to get excited about something, no matter what it is, a song I'm writing, a new video game I'm playing, just something small I can look forward to. That helps me move forward.
Thank you, kind sir. Okay, my faith is a really big part of how I get through my troubles. And I think it's because my faith has been shaken before. But I believe that I have found a path forward. But it took me a really long time. Now I see my faith in nature, up on a mountain, or when I go to the beach, when a beach is available to me. I see it when I meet up with my friends in their smiles. I feel joy when they feel joy. And I feel sorrow when they feel sorrow too. But sometimes I also need help in other ways, like through therapy. I haven't gone back to the therapist yet and told her that she needs to stop talking about my faith in a bad way. But I will eventually. But therapy has given me tools, the tools that I need to really think about the critical incidents in my life, and offers me guidance when God does not have the answers.
Oh. Thank you, good sir. In the moments when I am struggling the most, I go back to something that used to really scare me, which is permanence. When I get overwhelmed, I get stuck in the idea that the way I feel will not end, that I will feel like this and will be like that indefinitely. When I was struggling the most, my mom looked at me one day and said, "Josh, it is not forever, it is just for now." And those words from the first time she said them have been now foundational for me. I found a profound amount of inspiration in recognizing that good and bad times don't last. We adapt, we deal with what comes next. I find it very comforting to recognize that the only constant is change. And I remind myself of that, and my loved ones remind me of that when things are toughest.
There's also mental health resources available. For some, it's therapy, having a space to explore what they're going through and learning ways to work through it in a new and supported way. For others, it might be medication. There's books, workshops, courses. For some, it might be all of the above. I think what's important to acknowledge is that it takes work. There is no one magical thing that's going to pull you out of it. There are pieces of the puzzle, though, that can begin moving us in a direction, and then we can get to work. We put one foot in front of the other, just like Jesus did while carrying the cross. We keep going even if we don't know yet where we will end up. I often tell people in therapy that answer is not satisfying, but it's also the truth. But this here tonight isn't just, it isn't just therapy, this isn't therapy. But you know what I mean. Tonight is worship. Coming back to the Easter story, we want to reflect on what it has to tell us. Like I mentioned earlier, I think on the one hand, it gives us permission to not be okay. If Jesus could feel these very real human emotions, then so can we. But the other thing it tells us through the resurrection, similar to the Christmas story, these are stories of hope. It's a reminder that the worst thing is never the last thing. It's a story of having faith, whether that's spiritual faith, faith in people, faith in yourself, whatever it is. It's faith that there's hope even when we can't see it. And now we're going to sing our theme song of the night. And it might just be the heaviest loudest song we've ever played. So buckle up, folks. All right.
Now, Smith and I typically like the really heavy music, and we'll come to Andrew and we'll say, oh, can we play this song that has blast beats and screams? And he'll say, probably not. But Andrew came up with this song and introduced it and was inspiration for our theme tonight. And so if you really hate it, it's his fault. But if you love it, it's also because of him. Coin flip, coin flip.
So far away, I'm dead awoken. I'm faded out of breath. Life falls to gray, hope of the hopeless, and I pray without a prayer. My cup down in the hollow between. You'll find a venom in me. My world apart. In the sorrow beneath, you'll find a devil in me. Stay forever in the light. I awaken, I arise. I still hear the call of light. I'm taken by the tide. Life falls to gray, hope of the hopeless, and now only dust remain. Tear my head apart. Broken life has left me born to burn. Stay forever in the light. I awaken, I arise. I still hear the call of life. I'm taken by the tide. Stay forever in the light. I awaken, I survive. I still hear the call of life. I'm taken by the tide. Still hear the call of life. I'm taken by the tide. Stay forever in the light. I awaken, I survive. I still hear the call of life. I'm taken by the tide. Josh wants to say something.
I have something to fill time for once. Okay, so I recently found out this cool trick to test if your pants are haunted. And so what I need everybody to do is reach into your pockets and ball up a fist. And now take your hands out and open up your hands. And if your hands are full of tiny little ghosts, then you need to exercise your pants.
Thank you, Josh.
I read that on Instagram 2 months ago, and Wheeze laughed.
All right.
Okay.
On that note, let's wrap up our very serious theme tonight. Well, I think mostly I've said everything I want to say. Hopefully you all got something from the theme and gave you something to think about. And at the very least, like I said, part of why we talk about mental health is to let you know it's okay to talk about it. There are resources. Did we put it here? I can't remember where we put it. Was it here or later? Or both? Yes, both. That's what we just said. Lots of resources, mental health resources. We'll put it up again at the end after we play our last song. If you need any of them, want to take a picture of them, if you don't know about any of them. There's many more than that. Those are just some of the standard ones. But at the really, from everything we've said, hopefully you kind of get the message that no matter who you are, no matter what you're struggling with, it's okay. It's okay to be you. And you here, in this place, you are loved. And that's a pretty special thing. So, we got to say thank you to people who made this possible tonight. Now, how we do this is everybody starts clapping, and then I try to list everybody, and then I'll forget somebody, and I do my best, okay? All right. So, first, thanks to St. Thomas United Church for hosting us. Thank you to the St. Thomas Volunteers for cooking and serving us dinner. Thank you to Tracy and Marion for leading us in prayer and just being so supportive. We like you guys so much. Thank you to all of you for coming. Thank you to Leanne for doing the slideshow and helping us with video stuff. Thank you to the band for being wonderful musicians and just, aren't they talented? Thanks to the band, everybody. Let's take a moment, and obviously Brenda couldn't be here tonight, but as I always thank her because really she does so much behind the scenes. You don't even know. This would not happen without her. And then the night of, she always hides in the sound booth, but really, like she's like the Wizard of Oz, the person behind the curtain, you know? But obviously she couldn't be here tonight. I don't know if she's watching the live stream, and it's okay if she's not, but I think let's give one really loud thank you to Brenda to show her how much we love her, hey? Woo! All right, and thank you to the person who works tirelessly all day long, makes us sound way better than we have any right to sound, Kaylee Sonic Boom Gooden! Thank you to Josh for being my co-worship leader. Thank you to Caitlin for being my co-worship leader. Thanks to Joanna for being my wife, Charlie for being my son, and Ellie for being my daughter. Thanks, everybody.
And a big thank you to Andrew for also being co-worship leader of the Nick of the Band. Now, let's all sing happy birthday to Andrew and make him all weird.
That's not why I brought it up earlier.
Yes, it was.
I was just being funny.
Yeah, well, deal with the consequences.
I'm not trying to make it about me.
All right, let's all sing at Andrew, and we're gonna. I thought some people would harmonize. Happy birthday to you, Andrew! Happy birthday to you, Andrew! Happy birthday, dear Andrew. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
25.
All right, I feel uncomfortable now. Announcements. Let's move forward. So tonight there's youth games in the hall about 5-10 minutes after the service. So if you're a youth, go up there, find some youth leaders. There's lots of them here. Jonah's here. Miller's here. Who else is here? No, that doesn't matter. I'm just kidding. You're my favorite of those three. If you're a young adult, you can go to the pub. Look for Caitlin. You're going to Dalhousie Boston Pizza. You could order some pasta, some pizza. They got sandwiches. You could get some appetizers. The next young adult pub night that's not tonight, the regular Thursday, once a month one, is Thursday, April 24th. So go to that if you're a young adult. What else do we got going on? The next Naked Faith. That's not right. I think it's the week before. Wrong again, Leanne. I think that's the long weekend, right? Assuming that's the long weekend, it's the Friday before, which is the 9th, I believe. Sorry, I didn't tell you that. You also didn't ask, so it's on both of us. It's both our faults. So come in May, we'll be at Southwood United Church. Camp, it's coming up. It's camp, everybody. Woo! Camp is for youth and young adults. It's a great time. It's a whole weekend. It's going to be fun. June 6th to 9th, we go to Camp Kasota. It's going to be awesome. So come to that. June 14th, the event of the year, Pride Prom! Now, I might be a little bit biased, but it is the event of the year. Saturday, June 14th, St. Thomas is hosting the 3rd annual Pride Prom, which is prom. Yeah! This is prom for anybody who felt they could not attend their prom as their authentic selves, because no matter who you are welcome to be yourself. In all your glory at this Pride Prom. And for everyone else, for all allies as well. What we do is we dance the night away. Naked Faith has the honor of being the house band for the night. We get to play all sorts of fun dance music, stuff we can't really play at a worship service, so it's going to be awesome. That's it. Those are all the announcements. That's all that's happening in the world. We have one more song. You know this one. Please stand. As you are able, please dance with us. Sing along. Let's have a jolly old time, shall we? Just gonna put my hearing protection back in. Sorry to all of you who don't have it. This song's usually not quite as loud as the last one, but you know. All right, are we ready?
Hey, don't write yourself off yet. It's only in your head you feel left out or looked down on. Try your best, try everything you can, and don't you worry what they tell themselves when you're away. It just takes some time. It'll go you're in the middle of it, right? Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright. Hey, you know they're all the same. You know you're doing better on your own. So don't buy in. Live right now. Just be yourself. Doesn't matter if it's good enough for someone else. Here we go! It takes some time. It'll go in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright. Just take some time. It'll go in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright. Hey, don't write yourself up yet. It's only in your head you feel left out or looked down on. Do your best, do everything you can.
Each and every one of you here. Youth, you're going to go play games upstairs. Young adults, go to the pub. Everybody else, get out of here. Good night, everybody.